Welcome to another edition of Mehlville Today. I'm Michaela Coleman.
And I'm Chase Guerrero.
And this is Mehlville Today. Earlier this year, Mehlville Media brought you a story about a Rams cheerleader and MHS alum Emily Hawkins.
Recently, her family was given a reason to worry after an incident in the Middle East.
Due to the graphic nature of some images, viewer discretion is advised.
Well, I was over in the Middle East visiting the troops with some other Rams cheerleaders, and we were visiting this one unit, and they were showing us the things that they do around the base, and I was taken on a gator ride where the guy was showing off and going really fast, and then it tipped.
Her leg got caught in between the bars and snapped it in half. She has 3 breaks and some pretty serious tissue damage and open wounds on her leg.
When the bar fell on my leg, I realized at that point that I was in the Middle East, that I had no cell phone service. I didn't even have my cell phone on me at that point. So it was about just figuring out how to fix it.
Accordingly, when I found out that she was injured, I was really concerned. She was 7,000 miles away. She was in a foreign country that is maybe not as stable as I'd like it to be. We had very limited communication with her.
My reaction was really scared for her and shocked and worried about her since she was in the Middle East.
I had to stay on the base for almost a week. I was there at the Air Force Hospital, which it wasn't a hospital that could actually repair my leg. It could just stabilize it. So then they were just trying to figure out how to get me out of the Middle East. My medical condition is still unknown, and there's no prognosis at this point. It's just taking each surgery at a time to figure out how to fix it. They still haven't even told me any date on when they'll have the surgery that they'll actually attach my leg.
With photographer Victoria Boker, and this is Kristen Carter from Mehlville Today.
Mehlville Media would like to wish Emily a speedy recovery.
Our next story takes a look at the growing problem of prescription drug abuse.
Here's Ashlyn Dimmick and Tayana Strickland reporting.
Adderall is very popular at Mehlville High School.
This is no surprise. ADHD medications are widely used by students at MHS with and without prescriptions. We took a closer look at students on both sides of the spectrum and spoke to them about the negative effects of the drug and the reasons they use it.
To have fun.
It helps people save time when they're doing their homework.
I guess people think it's fun.
I think people use it without a prescription because it helps them do well in tests and study long night, like over long periods of time, and do homework that they are missing or didn't do. People obtain it just through other people with prescriptions.
It confuses me that people take it when they don't necessarily need it, because there are some pretty bad side effects. Like for me, when I'm on the pill, I don't have any appetite at all, and sometimes I even catch myself slipping into states of sadness where I just feel sad for no reason, especially when I'm not doing anything. So I think that if I was somebody who didn't necessarily need it and I was taking it just for fun, especially in really high doses, it doesn't make much sense to me because the consequences really outweigh the benefits if you're not someone who needs it. Basically what it does for me is it just kind of lengthens my attention span. I'm able to focus more on one thing for a longer period of time. I don't have to distract myself with other things, and I can avoid distractions. So I can, before I take medicine, I'm really not able to sit down and do one task, do one homework assignment or write an essay or something like that. But when I'm on the medicine, I'm able to focus and get the tasks done without any trouble, and that goes for school, really any kind of anything that I'm trying to complete. Personally, I take 20 milligrams of Adderall. I have taken up to 40 before, and I've taken as low as 15. And it really changes on how much of a tolerance you develop and what kind of medicine you want to be put on, because Adderall is not the only one that helps with ADD. But I've heard of kids who take it off of prescription that are taking up to like 70 milligrams in one pill and taking multiple pills at a time, which to me sounds kind of crazy because, I mean, eventually 40 milligrams gets to be too much for some people, but that's just what I think. I guess, you know, they have a different taste for, you know, what they want to be doing with their body and what they want pills to be doing to them.
With any of the medications that are prescribed for ADHD or ADD, they all have cardiac effects. They can increase your heart rate and increase your blood pressure and things like that. So it's not a good idea to take any kind of medication that's not prescribed for you. I would just highly discourage people from doing this because you don't know what kind of a risk you're taking. With any medication that is not prescribed for you, even, you know, the ADHD ones and anything else, if someone gives you a medication and tells you it's okay to take or you're gonna like this, if it's not for you and it hasn't been prescribed for you by your doctor, don't take it.
I think people think that getting good grades is more important than their health.
With reporter Ashlyn Dimmick and photographer Tayana Strickland, this is Mehlville Today.
Mehlville is full of talented individuals.
Hannah Blatt and Nick Wagner have a feature on one of those talented students. Take a look.
I sang recreationally, and my parents are like, hey, you're pretty good. And since my sister was already in the choirs, they're like, hey, we're going to sign you up. So they signed me up in about second grade, but I thought girls had cooties. So after that year, I dropped out, but then I joined back seventh grade year. I sing for the St. Louis Children's Choirs. It's up by Manchester. I practice once a week for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, but I'm literally singing all the time, so 24/7. I sing a lot of classical stuff at choir, along with a whole bunch of spiritual stuff. It's really a mix of just new music and old music.
St. Louis Children's Choir is made up of a select group of individuals. These individuals have to go through an extensive audition process to join the choir.
They don't go and seek you out, you have to seek them. And then you have to go personally and try out with one of your instructors that you're gonna have. And what they do is they just test your range, like your voice range, so how high you can get, how low you can get, if you can read music, stuff like that. And then they let you know immediately if you made it, and I guess if you haven't, they're just like, we'll call you later. So for our choir, we have 4 concerts a year, but each concert leads up to about 8 or 9 rehearsals before that, so a good 18 weeks per 4 concerts, so about 9-hour rehearsals before each concert. We just take a lot of achievement being in a type of choir like this because not everyone has a chance to do it. So we feel like in this choir we're one of the best, we're some of the best in St. Louis area, so we really take pride and really work hard in order to stay on top.
Finally, we close with a spotlight on our school resource officer, John Spicer.
See how he's using a hobby to honor fallen heroes.
Started playing the bagpipes here once I started in St. Louis County, so police department, and been playing them for approximately 6+ years. This county's bagpipes and drums. It's designed to honor the fallen officers killed in line of duty and other military events that we might get played for. So once I found out that was the real backing behind it, besides the PR public aspect of it, that's what I wanted to do. It took about a year on a practice chanter to learn it, the style of the music and the fingering. And then after a year of doing that, practicing, I then ordered a set of bagpipes. Once they came in, it was about 6 months before I can actually make sounds on it.
Started playing the bagpipes in 1982. When we originally started, there were just 3 of us. It was myself, Dan Jackson, and we had 1 snare drummer, Francis Gomez. Just over the years, we got more people involved in the band, and we're now up to 7 bagpipers and 5 drummers, so that gives us 12 people. My father always referred to it as this. It sounds like you're squeezing a cow and stepping on a cat's tail, is what my dad always described it as. But it takes a lot of dedication to be able to play the bagpipes. And anybody who gets in this group, it's a sense of pride for us of why we do what we do, is not only because of the music, but because of what we can provide for the families. A little bit of comfort in knowing that their fallen officer, their fallen hero is never going to be forgotten.
wraps up this edition of Mehlville Today.
For more coverage, check us out at mehlvillemedia.com.
Thanks for watching.